Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is a very special video and very unconventional for me. This is in reference to the tractor chase that has shaken the farm sim community that happened in North Carolina, as brought to your guys' attention probably by DJ Goham. If you haven't seen the most recent farm sim show, go check it out where he talks about this. But I figured, you know what? I am Farmer Cop, so let me go ahead and chime in on what I think about this police chase, just because I do have experience as a police officer. If you didn't know, I've been a police officer for 5 years for a city police department, not in North Carolina. I should note that I'm in Washington State, so our laws are definitely far different, but I figured why not chime in on this? So if you didn't know what happened, I'm going to go ahead and read a Police One article that talks about what happened in North Carolina. So Watauga County, North Carolina, or Watauga, I probably pronounced it wrong, apologies. North Carolina police were catapulted into what seemed like a 1970s television show this week during a police pursuit. Video shared by the Daily Mail shows a North Carolina man wielding a knife and blasting the Dukes of Hazzard theme song while driving a stolen tractor with the police hot on his trail. The incident began when the town of Boone Police Department received a call about a John Deere being driven erratically in a parking lot to hit or trying to hit pedestrians. Ronnie Hicks was later identified as the driver. This video shows, and we'll watch the video here in a second, don't you worry. Video shows Hicks plowing down stop signs, swerving into traffic with at least 8 cruisers pursuing him as he drove 20 miles per hour during the hours-long cat and mouse game. In the video, viewers can also hear the Dukes of Hazzard theme song playing in the background as the incident unfolds. Fabulous. As the pursuit went on, the man intentionally rammed the Boone police vehicle, and officers became worried about him reaching a nearby elementary school and more densely populated areas. Our officers were concerned for the welfare of our citizens as Hicks was intentionally driving the tractor towards oncoming traffic, Department Chief Andy LeBeau said on Facebook. While Hicks was driving in an isolated area, an officer was eventually able to shoot the tires of the tractor since spike strips laid out by officers had been ineffective. This man continued to drive without a front tire for a few more miles before turning onto private property, jumping out of the tractor and wielding a knife. Of course, why not? An officer used a taser and the suspect was taken into custody without injury. No other injuries occurred throughout the incident, which honestly is a miracle. I can say that as well. So that is what happened. We're going to go ahead and watch this video. I'm going to put the amazing, and right now up on your screen, a picture of the tractor after it was eventually shot out and stopped. You can see that tractor, just an open cab tractor like that. Love it. Poor John Deere tractor though. They shot out that front tire. Now I can tell you this from experience. I used to work at a tire shop. In addition to my experience as a police officer, tires are very hard to shoot out. Very, very hard to shoot out. Sometimes it can take multiple rounds and stuff like that. And I'm guessing they probably used their rifle because a handgun would have probably been almost completely ineffective against that size tire. And I know that just based on my experience. I'm not shooting out tires per se, but just, I guess, more training more than anything. And those tires are thick, thick. That's why I probably didn't shoot out the back ones. I probably went for the front ones because the back ones are going to be a little thicker. But overall, honestly, this guy is quite frankly, he's lucky to be alive. The police definitely could have justified a higher level use of force much sooner on this guy, but they did not. So he's definitely lucky to be alive. In addition to that, on a different article, not the Police One article, down in the comments, and I will put these up as we read them. There's some fantastic comments that I felt were worth noting here. So we have this one. And then this other article also says in the bottom, I should say, for just for what am I trying to say here? Just for the reference here, it says that they haven't announced what charges they're filing against him yet. And then down here, this comment goes, cops have not, just quoting the article, says cops have not yet announced charges against him. And then they said, can we assume they won't include speeding? Somehow John Deere needs to work this into a commercial. And then they put a quote, I do 10 years prison time just to drive a John Deere tractor, end quote there. And someone replied to that and said, I think it'd be a great commercial for John Deere. Oh, goodness gravy. And then we go, someone down below also commented, hang on for your John Deere life. Fantastic. Oh, goodness. There's plenty of great comments on here. Gus says, hey, y'all watch this. Hold my beer. Fabulous, fabulous. Yep. And some other people say he's lucky to be alive and all sorts of things. And then Janet, of course, has some questions down here. Was he drunk? Has he heard of an Uber? A lot of questions for this guy. I think the police also have a lot of questions for him as well, but really impressive. So on that note, I want to just, we're going to kind of just do a little bit, take a look here. Because I know some people have commented or messaged like, how come the police didn't like try to pit maneuver this guy or anything like that? So we're going to do a quick little rendition of this. We're going to take a look at a couple of things here. So I'll see you guys back here in just a second. We're going to set some things up and go over a couple things here. All right, so now I want to kind of break down some of the details here. So here we are. This is a very technical software we're using here called Farming Simulator 22 to be able to recreate this crime scene. Not quite to scale, not quite to scale. So if you remember, we had the John Deere in the Pursuit that was being chased. I'm using this lovely mod right here. The front weight you can see is on there. Open cab-ish. It's not quite the same, but again, not quite to scale. It's pretty close though, pretty close. So we have our we'll call him Dirtbag 1 running from the police here. And we have Patrol Officer 1 and 2 back here chasing him. Now, they did have a pickup truck. It wasn't decked out like this. They did have a pickup truck, though, a Dodge pickup truck. So I know this is a Ford, not quite as good. I get it, but this is kind of what we have to work with. So anyhow, we have this Ford. I'm just kidding, guys, by the way. We have this Ford pickup truck chasing him here. Also about the same size as an SUV, maybe a little bit taller than an SUV. So I figured this would work for the demonstration as well. And then, of course, one of the finest patrol vehicles you'd ever know, a Dodge Charger right here. Now, these guys do have push bars, and I believe in the video they did too. I can't remember exactly, I don't remember, but I believe they did too. So even with these push bars, if you look at this, just the sheer height difference between these two, this car right here is going to have an issue probably trying to knock this guy over or getting on there if he tries to pit the tire here, where he's probably going to damage this car here or elsewise. And even this pickup truck over here, a significant height difference we can see here as we break down this here Pursuit. So definitely not going to go super well for him if he tries to pit this tractor, potentially causing injury to both the suspect and the deputy or the officer involved. So obviously they want to try to avoid that. So we need to look at some other options. This agency didn't have other options other than shooting the tire out, which is not always a great idea because you have to be very aware of what's going on downwind from you or downrange from you. So it's very dangerous to be able to do that. And it would have been a difficult shot as this tractor was moving. Even if it was only moving 20 miles an hour, shooting a moving target is difficult. I'm sure they used their AR-15 style rifles, so that's probably what they did to shoot some various projectiles at this tractor as it's rolling down the road. But yeah, there are better options, I think. So let's just take a look over here where I have some of these options laid out. So as you can see, we have our tractor here. This is our tractor. Same one as over in the demonstration, clearly to scale here. And then we have our first two vehicles, which they had available for the Pursuit. So obviously these two were not large enough to stop the threat here, this Charger here on the right and this Ford pickup here. So they could have gotten a larger Ford pickup, which again, it's also a Ford still, so it has the same issues that any other Ford's going to have. It's not going to work all the time. It's not going to be reliable, so it's going to have those issues. So probably recommend a Dodge vehicle, of course. I'm just kidding. I'm just a Dodge guy. I apologize, everyone. And then this guy right here, an armored vehicle, would be great against this tractor here. This one even is not too bad here. I think it could still potentially have some issues, maybe roll this guy and then have some injuries to the officers inside. They would live for sure, but this guy might get injured in that way as well. So clearly, I think the best tactic is a police tractor, and I'll explain why here. This year we have the Massey Ferguson Pursuit police tractor here. This agency, by the way, if you're watching from North Carolina, from Boone, North Carolina, I encourage you guys to purchase one of these tractors. I think that that's a good use of your money, especially if you're going to have people stealing tractors. This would be good. Also, probably a public service announcement about leaving your keys in your tractors. That would be good. Some anti-theft devices would be great for the tractors in those neighborhoods which are affected by this string of tractor. Well, there's only one so far, but maybe more will happen. So I would encourage you guys to purchase one of these. And this guy will go faster. This one will go 32 miles an hour instead of the 20 miles an hour that we have here. So it will catch up to it. So even if you're leaving from the station, instead of a 6-hour pursuit, you might be able to catch up to him in about 4 hours, depending on where he's at in town. So and resources and everything like that. So that's a good option as well. I think the Pursuit tractor. Now, also as well, if you are Mr. Hicks, we'll call him Mr. Hicks. If you are the suspect, dirtbag, however you want to call him, in this vehicle running from the police wielding a knife, and you look in your rearview mirror, did he track have rear mirrors? Maybe not, but it was an open cab, so he could have seen behind him. And I'm sure he looked behind him. If you looked behind him and you saw this coming at you, you would be concerned, I think. I think the intimidation factor alone would have encouraged this person to immediately surrender, just seeing a Massey Ferguson come up on them like that. And of course, the benefit to the Pursuit tractor as well is the 3-point linkage. So what you can do if we go into the store here, I mean, all they had to do is go into the store. If they went to the store and bought, maybe one of these levelers base games, so they didn't have to have any DLCs installed. The North Carolina Police Department didn't have to have any DLCs installed. They could have just bought one of these guys. Not too much, a little pricey, $2,400. I get that's a lot for taxpayers to pay. That's probably the amount of fuel they burned, maybe in that pursuit that they had with this tractor. So it's probably worth it. But if you mount one of these on the front of this, that can work as a push bar actually, and to run into this guy here, increasing the intimidation factor a little bit until he actually does surrender. I think that would be the best way. So I think at that note, I think that's where we'll wrap up the video, guys. I think we've unpacked it, honestly, and I want to say this, that a lot of this video was obviously a joke. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any other agriculture-related crimes that you'd like me to break down, please send me a link. You can private message me a link, and I may or may not do a video on it, depending on it. But, yep, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quite almost entirely to scale rendition of what happened. And again, that was the pursuit going over there. There's more vehicles involved. Obviously, we're not showing them all in the camera here, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel. Turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos that I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and for watching.